We're ready to go.
Thanks, Margie. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Maggie Walters. I'm the Director of Outreach and Support Programs at Lighthouse Guild, and I'm also joined with my colleague, Lisa Beth Miller, who is the Outreach and Referral Coordinator here at Lighthouse. So for those of you who might not be familiar with Lighthouse, we are the leading organization dedicated to providing exceptional services that inspire people who are visually impaired to attain their goals. So how do we do that? We provide coordinated eye health care, vision rehabilitation, and behavioral health, as well as related services. And some of the individuals we serve are totally blind, but some do have some functional vision. So what we do is really just help people who have some vision loss do what they need to do or want to do on a daily basis, despite of the vision impairment. So our headquarters location, we're located in Manhattan on West 64th Street behind West End and Amsterdam Ave, right behind Lincoln Center. So if you take the 1 train up to the 66th Street Lincoln Center stop, we're about 2 blocks over from there. And today what we are going to discuss some of the assistive technology devices that are available for people with vision loss, provide an overview of the technology resources that are available at Lighthouse, and then how to access those services. And there are many, many devices and different apps that are available, so we're just highlighting a few. Like my screen isn't moving forward. Technology is good until it doesn't work. Okay. All right. So vision loss is one of the most feared medical conditions, and it often occurs with other major life changes, such as death of a spouse, maybe loss of a job. And the impact of vision loss on an individual's health, well-being, productivity, and quality of life can be severe, and it can also impact the lives of their friends and their family, as well as society as a whole. And many people who have vision loss don't have the access to the support and services that they need and that are required to live independently. And without the proper assistance, it can be difficult to cope with some of the life changes that come along with the diagnosis. And I think as we began navigating the pandemic now in 2020, so 2 years ago, one of the things that helped all of us, I think, stay connected and help some of the feelings of social isolation that we were experiencing was technology. And it helped us connect with family members, whether that was on the phone or on Zoom. We kind of got creative in how we met and how we did things together. And technology continues to allow individuals who are blind or visually impaired the ability to access much of the world that was hidden by their loss of sight. And it allows, like I said, individuals to feel connected. And by doing that, that's with the use of cell phones, tablets, devices, apps. Before we get into the technology, I just want to talk about 4 of the most common types of vision impairment that older adults often experience. And the first one is macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss for individuals that are 65 and older. This can be caused by wet and dry macular degeneration, and it causes a central field loss. So you'll see in this picture, and again, this is just a simulation, but this picture is showing Lincoln Center, and there is a black dot in the middle. Something that you can also use to simulate this type of loss is if you make a fist and hold it up in front of your face, you can see that you lose your central vision, and then you can only see it from your peripherals. And it can also impact the way that we see fine detail. The next picture is a simulation of diabetic retinopathy. So again, it's a photo of Lincoln Center, and you can see that the black dots are kind of spread out throughout the picture. This one is the leading cause of legal blindness between people 20 to 74. And this can impact people who have type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And then the third one is glaucoma. Again, the simulation is of Lincoln Center, and you can see that now the darkened spots on this simulation are around the peripherals. So this person might only be able to have central vision. So you can simulate this yourself too. If you hold up a circle to your face, and you can see, in order to see the room that you're in or the computer, you kind of have to scan your whole environment because you only have the central field. And then the last one is cataracts. And by the age of 80, most people do develop a cataract, and it often occurs with other eye diseases. And what this one does is it clouds your vision. So this picture again is of Lincoln Center, and you can see it looks just a little blurry. Like when you wake up in the morning and might have to rub your eyes if you feel that blur, that's what this one simulates. So what's new in vision technology? We've definitely come a long way from white canes and braille dots that used to represent most of the technology for people with low vision. And some of the new advances in technology include new medical procedures, high-tech headsets, mobile applications, and text-to-voice translations. Some of the new medical procedures help people with cataracts and glaucoma. The high-tech headsets, they magnify and clarify things for those who might have macular degeneration. The mobile applications, they make use of all the audio, visual, GPS, and computing capability of smartphones and tablets. And the text-to-voice translation reduces dependence on vision. So on this slide, technology really comes in many different forms, and it's important to keep in mind as we're going through these different types of technology that are available, that there is no one-size-fits-all option, and it's very individualized based on the person's vision impairment and what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve by using these different types of devices. So assistive technology is a technology that's been specifically designed to help a person with vision loss to perform a certain task. So there are various computer softwares, equipment, including things like a contrasting keyboard. On this screen, there is a picture of a contrasting keyboard. The keyboard itself is black, and the buttons are white with black lettering and numbering, so that can be a little clearer for people to see when it's that type of contrast. Some other types of contrast that are available for keyboards is the keyboard background itself is black, the keys are yellow, and the text is black. So again, it's whatever works best depending on the person. There's also large screens, magnification, and voice output software that makes typing and reading easier. Another type of device, there are tabletop and handheld closed circuit televisions that provide magnification, reverse contrast, and color versions of printed materials. So on this screen, there is a picture of a handheld magnifier. And there is a picture of a closed circuit television. And both of these can be used for reading, writing, and identifying small objects. The handheld device is a little bit more portable and can also be used when going shopping, looking at different labels in the store. Can also be used for drawing, writing, again. And the desktop video magnification system, it has a camera that is aimed at the object. So underneath the screen, you place the object, and that is what's projected onto the larger screen. And the image on the screen can be magnified up to 60 times. Again, there's different types of contrast depending on what you're most comfortable with. On this screen, it's showing a black background with white lettering. That could be reversed if it's more comfortable. So it would be a white background with black lettering. And again, since this one is a little bit larger, it's not as portable as the handheld device, but this is what a lot of our clients have used for reading magazines, newspapers, documents. It allows them to also be able to sign documents, putting the document on the bottom slider that's projected onto the screen. Some other types of technology that's also available are tablets and smartphones with functions that enhance accessibility for the user who has low vision. So there are different types. So for smartphones, there are iPhones, there's Android phones. For tablets, there are Apple has the iPad, and Microsoft has the Surface Pro and the Android tablet as well. Let me see. I don't think my screen's advancing. So some of the accessibility features are built right into the smart devices. And some of the functions that are built in are screen magnification. And this enlarges the content that you see on your devices. There is a function called dictation, which lets you speak words and punctuations where you would normally type them. So it's more of a verbal output. There's also a voiceover function on these devices. And it's a screen reader that tells you exactly what's happening on your device. And it can describe people, objects, or text. There is a voice-activated assistant, also known as Siri, that can help you complete daily tasks. You could ask Siri to set reminders for you, to turn some of the vision features on, and that is all done by the voice command. There's also a function on these devices that increase the text legibility and the visibility of font. So it allows you to make font larger. You can bold the font so that it's a little bit easier to see. And then there is also a flashlight function on your phone, and I'll actually show you this. So let me while I'm on the call, I don't know. This is good for additional lighting. You could see it. It comes right out of the back of the device. And there's also a magnification function where you can enlarge the content on the screen by just using your fingertips. So with some of these smart devices and tablets, there are accessible applications that you can download onto them. And these, like I said, can be on if you have a mobile device, if you have a tablet. They are downloaded right into the mobile device for smartphones, and they have the accessibility built in, or it may be built to be compatible with different screen reading or screen magnification softwares that you might have in some other devices. So I just pulled a couple. Like I said, there are many, but these are some of the more popular ones that we find a lot of our clients are using. The first one is, it's an app called Seeing AI, and it narrates the world around you using the camera on a phone or on a tablet. So it identifies people that might be in a room. It identifies objects. If you're out shopping, you can scan the barcode on a can of beans and it'll tell you what the object is that you're looking at. There's a money identification feature on there where you can scan a $1 bill, $5 bill, and it'll tell you what you have in your hand. The thing that gets tricky with that is it's not always spot on when you're scanning the person that's near you. So it'll tell you what they think their age is and some of their features. So some of the outputs that you might get from there are funny. The next one is Bard Mobile, which is a service of it provides free audio and braille reading materials to residents of the United States and American citizens living abroad. So this is, you can download talking books right onto your device. The next one is an app, it's called iNote, which is, again, it's a money identifier. So for someone who has vision loss that might not be able to see the money in your pocket, in your wallet, again, you can hold the currency in front of you, and it scans and identifies what type of bill that you're holding. There's also another app called Blind Square, which is a GPS navigation tool. But as you can see from these, there's all different categories. So there's apps that can help you with reading, with navigation, identifying currency, identifying different colors. They can help, if for organization, labeling items that might be in your pantry, in your closet. And there's also one called Script Talk, which is an app that will identify pharmacies that provide accessible medication labels, so that you can scan the medication labels and you have that voice output to know exactly what the different medications are that you have in your house. And like I said, we will send this PowerPoint out, but there is a really great resource that has a list of, it's called Blind Accessibility Apps. And you can access that through the website www.iaccessibility.com/apps/blind. And it breaks down the apps based on different categories of what you might be needing or what you're looking for. So one of the ones that I personally like is the Seeing AI app. So I want to show you a video that's going to narrate what exactly this app does.
Seeing AI is a Microsoft research project for people with visual impairments. The app narrates the world around you by turning the visual world into an audible experience. Point your phone's camera, select a channel, and hear a description. The app recognizes saved friends.
Jenny near top right, 3 feet away.
Describes the people around you, including their emotions.
28-year-old female wearing glasses looking happy.
It reads text out loud as it comes into view, like on an envelope.
Ken Lawrence, P.O. Box.
Or a room entrance.
Conferencetown 5.
Or scan and read documents like books and letters. The app will guide you and recognize the text with its formatting.
Top and left edge is not visible. Hold steady. Lease agreement. This agreement
When paying with cash, the app identifies currency bills.
$20 US.
When looking for something in your pantry or at the store, use the barcode scanner with audio cues to help you find what you want.
Campbell's tomato soup.
When available, hear additional product details.
Heated microwave bowl on height.
And even hear descriptions of images in other apps like Twitter by importing them into Seeing AI.
A close-up of Bill Gates.
Finally, explore our experimental features like scene descriptions to get a glimpse of the future.
I think it's a young girl throwing a frisbee in the park.
Experience the world around you with the Seeing AI app from Microsoft.
So this app has a lot of different functions. Has anyone heard of Seeing AI before? Roz, you have? I see you shaking your head. Is anybody else? No. Like I said, be careful when you do the person identifier with the age. Sometimes it skews it very wrong, but for the most part, it is very accurate and very helpful. And like I said, a lot of the adults that we work with use it, and it's very helpful, especially for people who are grocery shopping, to be able to identify the different items on the shelves.
Seeing AI is a
Trying to move to the
Microsoft research.
Okay. So for all of these different apps, they are available on different, whether it's through Apple or through Microsoft, Google, Amazon. And of course, technology is great, but it might not always work as it should, or you might need some support in getting more information about how to use it or some of the functions. So this slide has a couple different resources that you can reach out to get more support for each of these devices. There's an Apple accessibility support number, and the Apple accessibility support number that you can reach is 877-204-3930, and someone is available to explain some of the accessibility features that are available if you have any Apple product, if you have any specific questions, if your device might not be working. They're a great resource. The next one is a Microsoft Disability Desk. They can be reached at 800-936-5900. And again, they're great if you have a PC and you have questions about different functions or accessibility features. Verizon Wireless also has an accessibility center. So if you are a Verizon Wireless customer, you can give them a call. Their number is 888-262-1999. And they'll also be able to give you an overview of all of the accessibility functions that are available or different product services through your Verizon account. And there's also Google accessibility and Amazon accessibility. For Amazon accessibility, this will give you different ways that you can, different apps that you can use to help you shop online if you use Amazon, or different Amazon products, such as using an Amazon Echo Dot. Those are devices that use voice commands that can set timers for you. It can turn on the radio. It can play different, you have it set up to play different podcasts. It can do a lot on voice command. And this is another great resource just to get more information if you need any help troubleshooting. And in addition to some of these apps, there are also low-tech devices that are available and out there, such as a say when liquid level indicator. And on this screen, it has a picture of a mug with the Lighthouse Guild logo, and it has a pot of coffee. And the say when liquid indicator is a battery operated device that has two prongs that sit on the inside of the coffee cup. And it assists when the person is pouring the cup of coffee, once the liquid reaches the prongs, it makes a really loud beep. And that lets the person know that that's as far as they should go without spilling the coffee. And it's a really loud beep. So I'm going to play just a video for those who are not familiar with this. I see some of you shaking your head like you know. You might have seen this already. So this person is lifting up the say when device and hooking the prongs on the inside of the mug. And they're now pouring the coffee. Now, the only problem with this device that I have heard from somebody is they were not aware that the batteries had ran out. So it did not put out that beep. So that's just one thing that, since this is a battery operated device, you just need to be sure that the batteries are working in there. But it's really great for when you're pouring liquid, especially hot coffee, so that you're not getting it all over your table, not burning yourself. So that's an example of a low tech device. And then there also are some higher tech devices that are now available that are wearable, and they have a lot of AI functions built in, artificial intelligence features built in. So this video clip is going to highlight some of those technologies, and the capabilities of these devices are really incredible. And some of these are available at Lighthouse at our technology center, which we'll talk a little bit after.
The tiny device magnetically snaps onto the side of glasses and instantly reads text to you from any surface. All you have to do is point.
White chocolate cookies.
Allcam's innovative smart reading feature works instantly and discreetly.
Start smart reading. Read me the headlines.
Found 2 headlines. First result, or can my eye do name 2 times listed 1. Second result.
Allcam My Eye can also assist with your orientation.
What's in front of me?
1 door to your left and 1 door to your right.
Identifying objects and helping with your mobility.
What's in front of me?
1 person is in front of you, 1 empty chair to your right.
Accessible screen display options on smartphones and tablets include making the font size much larger, increasing the contrast of the text to the background, and zooming into areas of the screen.
Location details. Heading. Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. 0 feet. Near 40 Columbus Ave. New York NY 10023.
The person walking with a cane.
Surroundings can be magnified through smartphones.
We've built a 360-degree touch-based compass that gives you vibrational feedback based on the direction that you are facing. When you are going the correct way, you feel no feedback. When you turn away from the correct path, you get a slight vibration, and that vibration gets stronger the wronger you are.
$5. Fund.
I'm just going to stop. So the one that was previous, I was talking about, I know the video goes pretty quick, but there was a GPS device that as you're going near objects, that's what they said was the vibration that you're feeling. This next is a money identifier, and this is demonstrating one of the apps called iNote, which is the currency identifier.
The ability to
Go back. You see that, the money identifier.
You are.
$5. Front.
the ability to discover a whole new recipe.
This next video clip is showing artificial intelligence glasses.
Chicken and pumpkin soup.
Could be sharing a laugh with a colleague near the coffee machine.
Looks like Alex from finance. 1541, Sprinter, Amsterdam Central, via Mariahof.
There's no tether?
So the glasses that they were demonstrating, it hooks onto the side of your glasses, and there is a camera, and that's what you point the camera at, whether it's a paper or an object that you want to identify, and that's what was reading, giving the verbal output. I'm just gonna stop it here because some of these other ones that they get into are ones that we had talked about, but really the keys in this one, it was an OrCam device that hooks onto the side of the camera, and again, it identifies, it can read a paper that is in front of you. There is the navigation device that vibrates when along your path when you are getting near different objects, and there was also a smart cane that is connected to a smart device, and based on what objects might be in front of you or in your direction, your course that you're going on, there's a vibration feedback that you feel in the cane. And on the phone is a GPS app. So over the past year, Lighthouse Guild has developed a technology center at our Manhattan location. And this will be a place, really a hub for connecting innovators and users to come and try out some of those high-tech devices that were in that video, such as OrCam, but also get a chance to learn more about some of the low-tech devices, learn more about iPhones, tablets, apps that you can use on them. Technology assessments in our tech center are conducted by occupational therapists. So the occupational therapists really work with clients coming in to determine what would be best for them based on their individual needs, based on what they want to use them, what their goals are. There's computer and vocational skills training that's available. Vision technology education and training. And there's a smart home setup. There's a smart home setup in the center that is to simulate what an apartment in New York City would look like. And it is set up with Alexa, and it has commands that you can turn through the Alexa. You can turn the lights on and off. You can set timers on the microwave. You can set timers on the Alexa device. You can adjust the temperature controls, turn on and off the television, all by voice command. And then this is also going to be a hub for pilot and beta testing new technology. So there really is a whole range now of technology that's available for anybody who has vision loss. But really the important thing is that, like I had said earlier, it's very individualized. It's not one size fits all. And it ranges from low tech to high tech. Some of the high tech devices are expensive, but it's not to say all technology is not expensive. There are some of those apps that we went through are free. There are some other lower cost devices that are available. We had talked about the Say When liquid level indicator. So I think when people hear technology, they automatically think high cost, but that's not necessarily the case. And there is something for everybody out there. So I'm going to hand it over now to Lisa, who is going to talk a little bit more about some of the technology services that are available at Lighthouse, and talk about when to seek services and what the referral process is.
Hi, so when I start speaking, does it come to me, the camera, or no? Maybe no. Okay.
Lisa, I'm going to spotlight you, so that's fine. Hold on a second.
Okay. Maggie, can you move the video the PowerPoint to the next slide for me? Great. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So just to reintroduce myself, I'm the Outreach and Referral Coordinator, Lisa Miller, and I want to guide you towards the question, when is it time to seek services? Well, it's time to seek special low vision services when you notice that you or someone you know has problems in daily activities. So below on this list are some of the functional difficulties that happen to people due to vision loss. And people can ask themselves if they're having difficulties with any of these things. Are people having difficulties reading and writing due to vision loss? Are they having difficulty identifying their medications because the writing is too small? Are they having difficulty moving around safely without falling or bumping into things in the apartment? Are they having difficulty performing household activities such as cleaning or cooking? Having difficulties getting or keeping a job because of vision? Having difficulties with experiencing feelings of sadness depression or anxiety, or is the person having difficulty using cell phones or other technology? Any yes answer to any of these challenges means it's useful for the person to consider, maybe I could call someone and find out if this is a serious enough indication for a low vision exam. That means uncorrectable vision loss that's addressed with glasses or a magnifier. This is the most low-tech starting point that generally happens. Next, please.
Trying to advance it.
Thanks, Maggie. So there are all kinds of ways that we help people get accessibility, less training, and low vision rehabilitation services. That means to help people with their vision use and functioning. So we help people regain function to remain safe, self-sufficient, and active at any stage in their lives, from babies to 100+ years old. Low vision exam evaluates someone's visual function and their remaining vision, and may lead to a prescription of optical devices to maximize usable vision. That means helping people to make the most use of whatever usable vision they have with glasses or a magnifier, and helping them function in their daily life. Also, there's an evaluation can determine if you can benefit from a referral to the Adaptive Technology Center. So the way we're doing the Adaptive Technology Center, which is a brand new project that's been expanded with the direction of our CEO, and it's a real project of love where there's all different kinds of technology that help people function. So the process is to set up an individual appointment with the occupational therapist, and also starting with a low vision exam. I see there's a question, and it's from Barbara. Oops. I'll get to that in a second. So the Technology Center is through appointment only, as we want an occupational therapist to be able to consider your needs, both price range and technology needs, for either something that reads to you because there's not enough usable vision to amplify with an electronic magnifier, or an electronic magnifier, which can blow up the letters so a person can just read through things themselves. So another way to get accessibility to one's life is that we make referrals to other Lighthouse Guild services, including volunteer reader services, adult telesupport group, and if the person's eligible for the New York State Commission for the Blind, if someone's legally blind, which does not mean totally blind, but if they're legally blind, it's determined by an eye doctor, and that would help them qualify for certain support services through the New York State Commission for the Blind. Every single state has a state commission for the blind, and I'm the direct contact to the commission through our agency. Now, let me just get to that question in case it's urgent. Do you do home visits? My mom is 100, living in Riverdale with macular degeneration. It's an interesting question. We do not do home visits for vision exams, but we do have a program called the Adaptive Living Program, and that has other features. I'll explain that in a little while. So I will get back to that. Next slide. Oh, this is the end, and then I'll return to the question. Yeah.
But Lisa, if you want to talk a little bit about the OUT program.
Okay, so the Adaptive Living Program is for people. So to start, the New York State Commission for the Blind has different programs for different needs. one of their programs is sponsored through the Department of Labor, and it provides training for people that want to keep working or return to the workforce. That's a separate program called vocational rehabilitation. If someone is not interested in returning to work or continuing to work, there's a program for those under 55 called the Independent Living Skills Program. And there's a program for those 55 and older, which is pretty much the same thing, except it's for people 55 and older. And those independent living skills are called an adaptive living program. And those people have three buckets. One bucket is they get training in performing household tasks, including using the kitchen safely. They get it, and that bucket is just sort of functioning at home. The second bucket is functioning in mobility. So it's called orientation and mobility training. And people want to be able to be safe when they leave the home. And that means they can help themselves by learning how to orient themselves and be mobile with whatever their mobility is. So if someone's using what would like to learn how to use a white side cane, they're given a cane that fits them, their size, they're trained how to use it in about 4 sessions approximately. And they then have a sense of independence. They're also guided to learn how to get to their nearest subway or bus stop. And that's a remarkable second bucket. And the third bucket is our services at Lighthouse Guild are covered primarily through insurance, but when they're covered through a commission program, the adaptive living program, people get a voucher sent for a pair of glasses and for low vision exam. And so if their insurance doesn't cover it, the glasses will be covered by the New York State Commission for the Blind Adaptive Living Program. So now before we sign out, I'd like to explain an answer to this question. Do you do home visits? So it comes right after we were talking about low vision exams. Low vision exams are done only on site because there's special equipment that they could not carry to a home. So, but there is the adaptive living program. And once someone gets a report of legal blindness, they qualify for the adaptive living program with the 3 buckets, which means someone would come to the house and make sure they can be as independent as possible in the kitchen. Someone else would come and teach the person how to use a white sight cane or get around safely within their walker or wheelchair, whatever they may use, depends. And the third bucket is coming on site for a low vision exam and getting glasses. So we try to keep that to a minimum, but that is necessary for the low vision exam, which would yield as much as possible a pair of glasses, a magnifier, and then someone is really enhanced in their independence with those tools. I hope that answers the question. And of course, I'd like to say, Barbara, if you want to speak to me further about getting services to your mom in Riverdale, we could definitely talk about other kinds of reasons.
I'm gonna.
Maggie, maybe we can go to the next slide and we can give people our contact information. I'm not sure if you're forwarding it.
Also, one other thing, if anyone has any questions, they can unmute themselves either by unmuting or just pressing your space bar and just keeping it pressed while you're talking. So I just want to make sure if anyone has any questions and didn't use the chat that we address them. So I'm just putting it out there. Sure.
We're going to work that out in the next. So here's our final word in our presentation. Lighthouse Guild is here to help people who has vision loss. If you or someone you know or someone you come across needs to be connected to a conversation about their vision changes, whether they know what they need or they don't know what they need, I welcome all callers. And I welcome you to share my phone number. And I do get back to everyone. This is my direct work cell number. It's 646-847-4615. If you can see it, it's right on the screen, and you can certainly get it from Roz at any time.
There's also one additional question from Barbara. Can you please comment on the headset device for macular degeneration? Is it covered under Medicare and how is it used? The
So
iris.
unfortunately, that device, that device is not covered by insurance. And you're talking about the iris headwear set?
Yes.
Yeah, that is something that is not covered by insurance. I know that here with our tech center, we're working to see how we can find ways to make those a little bit more affordable.
Do you have any idea what it costs?
It varies, but I would say the headset is around anywhere from Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can. We heard anywhere from.
I think it's starting
Maggie.
around 3. Can you hear? I don't know if I'm cutting.
Maggie, we can hear you. You're fine.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I just heard 300, 3,000.
I think 3,000.
Do you happen to know if you can try it? Because I would hate to spend $3,000 and find out it doesn't work for the individual.
Well, that is a really excellent question. And I would like to say that one of the things we take pride in is the fact that we've developed this new process where people can come in and meet with an occupational therapist who will guide them to try different devices based on their discussion. And absolutely they can try it and see. That's the whole purpose of having a professional trial at the center, is to see which equipment might actually be useful for the person and benefit the person and be price sensitive to what the person needs. So we want to make sure that people take their time and think it through and get something that really works for them. And also additional occupational therapy appointments can be made to train the person on how to use the equipment. So we want people to feel like they have a place to learn.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Can't see anybody, but.
Oh, maybe we can take out the screen
Okay,
share.
all right, we can do that. Beth, can you just ask the question? Just ask your question.
Yeah, I know of 2 people that both have macular degeneration and are both, one of them is completely averse to technology. She's 95, and the other one is in the same age bracket, and she's not completely averse to it, but she sort of makes excuses that she's, she makes excuses why she doesn't do anything to help herself. And do you work with people like that? Like some kind of counseling, I guess?
Lisa?
Okay, we do have an adult telesupport group program for people to join in and be in an every other week conversation with other people. They don't even have to speak. They can call in by phone or Zoom. So phone is absolutely an option for people to be able to call in. And they can start to put their toe in the water of communicating and listening about the resources that other people are using and get familiar with the process of trying these things. We also have a behavioral health center for individual therapy, which is covered through insurance generally. And people can have individual sessions if they really want to work at it. But it sounds like what you're talking about might be best served, by a no-cost group. It's grant funded. And so the commitment is minimal, but it's an opportunity to just be with other people that are having vision loss problems. The group is led by Dr. Laura Newman, a clinical psychologist who's very experienced in helping people with vision impairment and blindness. And it's a really wonderful, warming opportunity for people to just hear how other people are coping.
And I think, Beth, one of the good things about that group is the age varies from anywhere from 35 to 98. And having that broad of a range really brings in a lot of different perspectives. And people in that group are at different stages of vision loss. A lot of the members have lost their vision later in life, so they're now dealing with trying to relearn things in a new way. But just being able to connect with others who are sharing similar experiences has really been a really positive experience and a lifeline for many people. And they also talk about different technology. They talk about different groups that are available, different resources. So it's a really great opportunity to share.
Do you have the days of the week that this, like, what's the time and day of the week that this meeting is held? Or if you could send that to us afterwards, we'll communicate that out to people.
Yeah, we definitely will. So right now the group runs at 12 and 2 p.m. on alternate Wednesdays.
Okay. So if you can just send that schedule.
The group is, yeah, I'll send it to you. The process for joining that group, there is a registration process. So you just have to fill out a registration form online, and that group is in very high demand. So there is a little bit of a waiting period right now. All of the new registrants are being enrolled to join our group April 13th. So I'll send that out.
Terrific. Anything else from anyone? Other questions? Obviously, if you have a question after the meeting that comes to you, let us know and we'll send it to Lisa and Maggie and get an answer for you. But is there anything else that people would like to ask today?
Yes, I have a question.
And who is that?
Barbara Brandenburg.
Okay.
My mom is 97 and has macular degeneration, and of course her vision, is just horrible. So I was wondering, she's even having trouble making phone calls. She gets the wrong number all the time. I wanted to get some kind of a phone with large numbers, but she has wants a portable phone, not a phone with a long extension that, so I don't know how to find it. If there's any way or any way of getting her to dial without calling an operator. She has a lot of numbers memorized. She just can't see them on the phone. And she's quite limited in what she can do.
Barbara, does she have a phone with large buttons?
No.
What kind of phone is she using now?
She's using 3 phones in the house that are they're portable phones, so she can take it with her. So it doesn't have I haven't seen one with large enough numbers for that type of phone. So she keeps getting wrong numbers. It's very frustrating. Her communication is getting more and more limited.
There is also a phone jitterbug.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, we got her the jitterbug. She can't work it. She can't see it well enough to know. She can't even turn it on. I mean, the vision is so bad, and she didn't learn it. She really was opposed to technology. She tried the Orcam. She's tried everything, but now she's getting older. Her mind isn't as quick, and she just can't learn how to use these things. So I it's kind of crazy to ask you to solve something for someone that can't see and has trouble hearing, and is kind of stuck in a chair all day. But I just wondered if there's any way the jitterbug is just not, the numbers aren't big enough, and there's too many things to do to get it working. She can't even turn it on. she can't feel it because she can't see it to turn the button on to get the phone even. So she doesn't use her jitterbug at all. It's just for emergencies. And even then, I don't think she can use it.
And it sounds like you've tried a lot of different options. Another one could be, are you familiar with bump dots?
With what?
Bump dots. Bump dots are, it's a tactile cueing that can be used and can be put on to the power button on the phone. So it's a raised dot. I mean, I know that it would be beyond, she would need them probably on the power button and then maybe on the center button just to kind of get her bearings but.
Yeah. I had bought her years ago stickers in different colors because she could then see colors, but that didn't work. So yeah, where do you get those bump guards?
I actually have a couple. Barbara, what's your phone number? If you don't know what,
Barbara, can you just send it to me privately in the chat or send it to me in an email? I'm not comfortable with people sharing their phone numbers in the Zoom. So if you just send it to me, I'll send it right to Maggie immediately.
Okay.
And I'll follow up and contact you, Barbara. We could talk more about this.
Who am I sending it to?
You're sending it to me. Just send it to info. I'm going to put it in the chat at rssny.org and you'll get it. So let me just.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Anyone also who wants to ask a follow-up question or can either obviously contact directly because it's right there for you, or you can always send a note to me and I'll get it, and that's the email to send it to. info@rssny.org.
I'm sorry to bother you again, but I had called earlier to ask if my mother could get on this. She can't see Zoom on, she has an iPad, but she can't tap into Zoom. There's a phone number. If she were able to dial that number, could she hear this?
Yes.
Just by dialing the number. Okay.
She has to dial the number, but she usually also has to put in like the meeting ID. You can't just dial the number. You have to put in the meeting ID. It might be possible on occasion. We don't really have the resources to do that for somebody to call her and then link her in. It's just, I can't promise on an ongoing basis that we have somebody can help with that.
I see. Is there any way to, you said you recorded today. Is there any way of her hearing the recording?
She can hear it. I mean, yeah, we can send her the recording, but somehow she has to be able to play it. So yeah, she can play it and just listen to it, but she has to be, it's available also when I record it in just an audio, but she still has to be able to like click on, she has to be able to start it somehow.
Yeah, well, she hasn't, if she could do it when she has an aide there.
Yeah, then that's fine. I mean, what will happen is I can send you a copy of the recording and then you can work with the aide or whatever in terms of having her listen to it.
That'd be great because I signed up to listen to all three of the things that you're offering on the vision, and I just didn't want to call. I can't get her to do it because she'll be so frustrated. So
okay, so I'll send it to you and we can talk about that more offline. What we can do.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to then thank you. Obviously, this has been very meaningful and important to several people here, and I'm sure there'll be follow-up after this. Just a reminder, we have tomorrow, there's going to be something on vision from the perspective of a nutritionist, and that will be tomorrow afternoon. And then on Friday, we have somebody coming from Visions who's going to sort of focus in on what we can do to keep our eyes healthy. So that's it for today. Maggie, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Lisa as well. I'm going to close us out now, if that's okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good to meet you all. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.